Mayweather just broke his silence, and the boxing world is shocked. Ryan Garcia isn't just unstoppable. Right now, nobody in the sport can touch this monster.
Plays a major role in making you a household name, and I would know this. And that's why, if you notice, they're still talking about me. It's been almost 30 years, and Mayweather's name is always being brought up. And even if you check it out in this era, and I take my hat off to all the legendary champions that paved the way for me. But fighters nowadays, you see fighters want to say they want to fight.
Floyd Mayweather just looked into the camera and said 5 words that the entire boxing world was not ready for. Nobody can stop him right now. 5 words about Ryan Garcia, from the man who has never given anyone in this sport a compliment he didn't calculate first. And the moment those words left Floyd's mouth, every promoter, every rival, every analyst who has spent 2 years trying to bury Ryan Garcia suddenly had a very serious problem on their hands. Because when the greatest boxer who ever lived puts his name behind you, the conversation is over. Stay right here, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why Floyd said it, exactly what it means for Garcia's future, and exactly what Floyd Mayweather is really doing. And it is not what you think.
Like, you know, I'm not trying to be funny or not. There's a lot of fighters, they don't want to fight like from the past. They want to fight like Floyd Mayweather. They want to hustle like Floyd Mayweather. They want to get money like Floyd Mayweather. They want to have good defense like Floyd Mayweather, so they can articulate when their career is over. And that's what it's about. Money made all day.
Love it. Last question. Are we going to see Davis Garcia 2, the rematch?
It all depends. I mean, because, you know, it's up to them too.
Right.
Still a big money fight.
Huge.
If you clicked on this video, you already know something major just happened. Floyd Mayweather, a man who has publicly dismissed, ignored, or outright avoided commenting on Ryan Garcia for the better part of 3 years, just broke his silence. And he didn't just break it with a polite nod, he broke it with a declaration. Nobody in boxing can stop him right now. Most people watching this story are going to take that quote, run it for 30 seconds, and move on. They'll say Floyd is being nice. They'll say it's just Floyd doing Floyd things. They'll say it doesn't change anything. They are wrong. When you understand who Floyd Mayweather is, how he operates, how deliberate every single public word is, and what the relationship between these two men has actually looked like behind the scenes, this quote doesn't just change the narrative around Garcia, it ends the debate. We went through every public interaction between Mayweather and Garcia going back to 2021. We looked at every press conference, every social media exchange, every interview where Garcia's name came up near Floyd. And what we found paints a picture that makes this moment one of the most significant things to happen to Ryan Garcia's career, not in the ring, but outside of it. In this video, we break down 3 things. First, the real history between Mayweather and Garcia and why their relationship makes this praise so extraordinary. Second, what Mayweather actually said, broken down line by line, and why those specific words matter. And third, the move Floyd is making here that nobody is talking about, because this is Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd Mayweather does not give anything away for free. Let's get into it. To understand why this matters so much, you need to understand where Ryan Garcia sits in boxing right now. This kid is 25 years old. He has 47 million followers on Instagram, more than almost any active fighter alive. He stops opponents, he generates pay-per-view numbers that promoters dream about. And for the last 2 years, a large portion of the boxing establishment has been working overtime to minimize him. Critics called his wins soft. They questioned his mental toughness. Every time Garcia stepped away from boxing to deal with his personal battles, there were voices lined up to say he was done, that he was a social media fighter, that he would never be a serious champion. Garcia fought through all of it. He came back. He kept winning. But here is what nobody could give him. The one thing that matters more than titles, more than knockouts, more than social media numbers in boxing's world. He didn't have validation from a legend. Until now. Because Floyd Mayweather, 50-0, undisputed pound-for-pound greatest of his generation, the man who spent 47 years in boxing and never lost a single professional fight, just gave Ryan Garcia something that cannot be bought, manufactured, or faked. And the timing of it matters just as much as the words themselves. And this is the detail that changes how you see this whole situation. Floyd Mayweather and Ryan Garcia have not always been on good terms. That is the part of this story that every channel covering the quote is glossing over. They are running the praise without giving you the context. And without the context, the praise is just words. With the context, it is an earthquake. Go back to 2021. Garcia's name started appearing in conversations about boxing's biggest fights. He was young, he was electric, he was drawing eyeballs. And at that point, Mayweather's name came up in connection with Garcia more than once, not for praise, but for comparison. Fans were asking if Garcia had the defensive skills to reach Floyd's level. They were asking if Garcia's speed was close to what Floyd had at the same age. Floyd's response, in multiple settings, was cold. Not dismissive. Floyd is too calculated for raw dismissal, but cold. He would redirect, he would shift the subject. When Garcia was mentioned near him, Floyd found other things to talk about. That silence was deliberate. Floyd Mayweather spent his entire career mastering what he chose not to say. And for 3 years, what he chose not to say was anything positive about Ryan Garcia. Then Garcia's 2023 happened. The highs and the lows, the Gervonta Davis loss, the mental health battles, the time away from boxing. And when Garcia came back and started winning again, Floyd stayed quiet. That silence stretched into 2024. Garcia was putting on performances, stoppage after stoppage. The social media numbers were climbing. The demand for his next big fight was louder than ever. And Floyd Mayweather, the man whose opinion arguably carries more weight than any other human being in the sport, said nothing. So when Floyd finally opens his mouth and calls Garcia unstoppable, you have to understand what 3 years of deliberate silence makes that mean. This wasn't a man who was casually supportive suddenly deciding to speak up. This was a man who curated his silence like a weapon and then put the weapon down. But that's not even the most important part of this story, because what Floyd actually said and how he said it tells you something about Ryan Garcia that no win, no knockout, no title belt could ever communicate.
And this is where the real story, the one nobody in mainstream boxing media has properly covered, finally comes out. Floyd Mayweather did not call a press conference. He did not post a prepared statement. He did not sit down for a formal interview and deliver a rehearsed compliment. He said it in the middle of a conversation, casually, naturally. The way a man says something he has already decided is true. Nobody in boxing can stop him right now. Break that sentence down word by word, because every word is deliberate when the speaker is Floyd Mayweather. Nobody, not very few people, not it would be tough, nobody. That is an absolute statement. That is Floyd Mayweather, who beat Oscar De La Hoya, who beat Manny Pacquiao, who beat Canelo Alvarez, saying that in the current landscape of professional boxing, there is no human being on earth who has what it takes to beat Ryan Garcia. In boxing, Floyd knows the sport. He has lived inside it since he was a child. When he narrows his statement to boxing, he is not hedging, he is being precise. He is speaking about the world he knows better than anyone alive. Right now. This is the part that most people miss. Floyd did not say Garcia is the greatest ever. He did not say Garcia can never be beaten. He said right now. And that qualifier is not a limitation, it is a warning. It means Floyd has looked at the current landscape, at every active fighter, at every matchup that could realistically be made, and reached a conclusion. Right now, today, in this moment, nobody has what it takes. From a man with Floyd's record, Floyd's eye and Floyd's knowledge of what it takes to beat a fighter like Garcia that right now carries more weight than a championship belt. And the reaction in boxing's inner circles was immediate. Promoters who had been publicly lukewarm on Garcia's next big fight suddenly started picking up phones. The fighters who had been most vocal about wanting no part of Garcia, the ones who had been using the "he's not ready" excuse, found themselves very quiet very fast. Because when you have been using "he's unproven" as your reason to avoid a fight, and then the greatest fighter in the history of the sport publicly calls that fighter unstoppable, your excuse just disappeared. Ryan Garcia did not win a title to change the conversation. Floyd Mayweather changed it for him with one sentence. But here's what nobody is connecting, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Because Floyd Mayweather just made this statement, and the question nobody is asking is why now? Why this moment? What does Floyd get out of it? Because Floyd always gets something out of it. So when you step back and look at everything, the 3 years of deliberate silence, the specific wording of what Floyd said, the timing of when he said it, there is a pattern here that most people are not seeing. Floyd Mayweather is not just being generous. Floyd Mayweather is making a chess move. Here is what you have to understand about how Floyd operates. His entire post-retirement career has been built on one thing: staying relevant. He has done exhibition fights, he has promoted, he has appeared at events all over the world, and every single move he has made since hanging up the gloves has been designed to keep him at the center of the boxing conversation. Now look at the current landscape. Garcia is the most marketable young fighter in the sport. The demand for his next big fight is as loud as it has ever been. And there is a version of the future, a very plausible version, where Garcia's next major fight becomes the biggest boxing event in years. If Floyd Mayweather has publicly declared Garcia unstoppable before that fight happens, Floyd becomes part of the story. Every preview segment, every breakdown video, every media piece building to that fight will include the clip of Floyd saying those words. Floyd's voice is in the room without Floyd having to be in the room. And if Garcia wins, which Floyd just publicly predicted, then Floyd gets credit for seeing it first. The greatest to ever do it called it before anyone else. But there is one more layer to this. Mayweather Promotions exists. Floyd's promotional arm is real, it is active, and it is always looking for its next major asset. A public cosign of this magnitude, delivered casually, organically in Floyd's own words, is the most powerful recruitment pitch in boxing that money cannot buy. Floyd Mayweather just told Ryan Garcia in front of the entire world, "I see you, I believe in you, I know what greatness looks like, and you have it." If you are Garcia, what is the first phone call you make? This is the move. Not charity, not casual praise, positioning. And it is the most Floyd Mayweather thing Floyd Mayweather has ever done. For Garcia's fans, the people who have been in his corner through every setback, every comeback, every moment of doubt, this is the validation that silences every critic with one quote. And for the critics themselves, the ones who spent 2 years questioning whether Garcia belonged at the top of this sport, Floyd Mayweather just answered your question for you.
So now you have the full picture. This was never just a compliment. It was never just Floyd being nice. It was a calculated, deliberate, perfectly timed statement from the most calculated, deliberate, perfectly timed man boxing has ever produced. And it landed exactly where Floyd intended it to land. Ryan Garcia is no longer just a fighter people argue about. He is a fighter that Floyd Mayweather has staked his reputation on. And in this sport, that means everything. Now here is the question I want you to answer in the comments. Was Floyd Mayweather giving Garcia genuine respect, or is this the opening move in a much bigger play that ends with Floyd's name on a Garcia fight contract? Drop your take below. I want to hear from the real boxing fans watching this channel.
If you want the full story on everything happening in boxing before it hits mainstream media, hit subscribe. New video dropping every week. And next video, we are going inside the conversation that nobody in Garcia's camp once made public. The name attached to it is going to surprise you.